Okay, I'm just going to record a very quick video now showing how best to trade the scalps with me in the morning and afternoon session. As I said, what we're looking to do, we're going to be looking to hit a target of 20 pips in the AM session and 20 pips in the US session, which is the PM session, London. We'll be starting at 7 AM sharp, and we will normally be getting into a trade round about 7 AM. We'll be looking to enter a trade, and if not, it will be very shortly after 7. So make sure you get on early enough to make sure you're on the trades. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm still going to look at the hourly charts and give out the live trade feeds for the more longer term. Obviously, we'll be a bit more picky with those, and we'll, as everyone requested, or as I had a lot of requests, a lot of people just want to look to make 20 pips in the morning session. A lot of people that have commitments and can't do the US are just going to trade the morning, but most members seem to want 20 pips. So that's going to be our daily target. It's going to be a lot quicker, this type of trading. And what we'll do, a lot of the time we'll look to, if we close out of a trade, we'll be looking to actually open it in the other direction, as long as we got the confirmation. And that's how I'm really going to play the trades, just to trade them until we hit 20 pips. As regards to the stop, this is capital spreads, by the way. I've just zoomed in on the ticket. So on your portfolio, this was the euro. So you click trade, you click the trade button on the euro, and it brings you up this ticket, obviously. And then your size, depending on the size of the bank. So if we just keep it to £10 a pip, so I'm going to put £10 in there. Now I'm going to put the stop at 40 pips. I'm not going to let this, I'd never let the stop get to 40 pips on this style of trading, but I want the stop out of the way a little bit. That's why I'm going to put 40 in there. That's really just anything really unexpected, so we have got a stop and we're not trading without a stop. But like I say, we're going to be looking to manually close out the trades before then. We wouldn't look to lose much more than 20 pips on the normal trade, because we're looking for a risk reward of 1-to-1 on all our trades anyway. So this is how we have the ticket set up. You can put the limit in at 20. I personally don't use a limit. I'll look to close it out manually, because I'm going to be sat in front with the ticket on at all times. I don't need to put the limit on, but you can put the limit on if you like, so if it just hits the 20 pips, you're definitely going to have taken your profits there. But I like to manually close it, because if we do push through fairly quick, sometimes you can close out for 24, 25, so you're getting a few extra pips here and there. And if it drives right through, obviously we've got no reason to come out of the trade. We'd hold on and see what we could get out of the trade. We'd manage it. So quite often you can get a few extra pips. That's why I don't personally put a limit on, but that's of personal preference if you wanted to put a limit in. I won't actually hit the button, but if we were in a long, so we'd obviously take the buy now on the entry point. So I'd take the buy. This ticket would then disappear. If you then click trade again, you'd bring this ticket back up, and if you set it up exactly the same again, but instead of putting in 10, we're going to put in 20. What this does is, if we do decide to take a trade in the other direction, so for instance we're already in the buy, if we now click sell here, what it's going to do, £10 is going to close out our first position, and so whether we may be in 2-3 pips profit or 2-3 pips loss, either way, once we hit the sell button, if we were in a buy trade, a long trade, half of that is going to actually just close out the first trade, and the other half will be a new trade. So in theory, you're closing out one trade and you're reopening another £10 per pip trade. So that's what we'd look to do when we re-enter in another direction. That's how you do it on capital spreads. I personally use capital spreads for my for the scalping more, because especially on the euro dollar, which we're going to do most of the scalping on, it's only 1 pip spread as well, so the spreads are quite tight, and it seems to execute fairly quickly. in the times when we're going to be trading. This is what we're after. So this is how you close one trade and reopen with capital spreads. You just double the amount in there. You can still have your stop with capital spreads, and it will just close one trade and reopen another one. Obviously, if the first trade that we get into, which hopefully most of them will, it goes on to make our 20 pips, then all we do, the trade will be down here, and you hit the close trade, and you'll get another ticket like this with just the option to sell on, and that's what you do to obviously close out if you were just in the first trade and we were going to close out for a profit. But like I say, if we do decide to change direction, and this is how you set the ticket up, so you just double it, and that will actually close one trade for you and reopen the other one. So it saves a lot of time from trying to close one trade and reopen one where you're going to miss 2, 3, 4 maybe more valuable pips. That's how you instantly close one trade and reopen in the other direction. So that's how you do it with capital spreads. What I'll do, I'll just quickly show you how to do it with IG index also. It's just very slightly different with IG, but I'll just pause the video and then I'll come back and show you how to do it on IG also. Okay, so I've now got the ticket up for IG. So we start off exactly the same. We're going to put a 40 pip stop in. So there's your stop. There's our size if it's £10 a pip, obviously, depending on your bank. We're going to be looking to risk around about 2% per trade. So if you divide your bank by 50, and then that number divide by 20, because we'll be looking to average not lose more than 20 per trade. So that's how you get your own pip size. That's what I'd recommend anyway. So this is with IG. I've got the pound dollar ticket up, but it's just to show you how we do it. Obviously we'd have the euro ticket up. Exactly the same. So if we're going to take a long position, we'd hit the buy here, and then the buy would come up in your open positions down in this area. If we then click the same pair and you get your second ticket up, now it's very slightly different. What you've got to do with IG, if we put in £20 per pip, you can't actually put the stop in. Not straight away. The reason being, if you have a stop on, it will actually open a completely separate trade. So then you will have one trade going in both directions, which obviously you don't want. So what you've actually got to do, we double it up. So you put in £20 per pip if you were trading at £10 a pip on your original trade, and then so if we were along the fast trade, we'd hit the sell, and that would then close out our original trade, and we would have £10 going in the opposite direction. Of course we want to get an emergency stop on then, so what we do, we double click in the open positions when it's down here, and then you'd have to adjust your stop, and you could put the stop back on to 40 pips. So just remember to do that. We are going to be managing the trade anyway, we're not going to go off and leave it, so we shouldn't put ourselves in any unnecessary risk anyway, but it's always worth putting the stop at 40 pips. So you just have to reopen it and put the stop on. That's the only difference with IG, because if you do put a stop on this in this box to begin with, what it will do is just open a separate trade, and then you'd have to close out the other one manually, and obviously you'd be left with twice the position. So if you are using IG, just remember, don't put a stop in on the second trade, and then you can double up whatever your original pip value is. You just have to remember then to go back in and to put your stop in afterwards. So that's the only difference with IG. You can't actually put a stop on in the first instance to open a trade. So hopefully that should show you how to quickly close one trade and open another. And I've been looking forward to doing this more, the scalping with everyone, and we should be making 20 pips, like I say. In the morning I'll be looking to be done most mornings before 8 AM, and in the afternoon, as long as we haven't got a 1:30 news release out, I'll be looking mostly to be done by 2 PM. So we should be getting these 20 pip trades in the first hour. And for original members that know the boss method, you see the boss charts that I've got at. The only difference is if we take a trade in another direction, I've just got an early indicator that I'm using a 5 bar moving average. You should be able to see what I'm doing. I'll talk people through it. I'm just trying to get in that little bit earlier if a trade goes against us. That just helps us close out the first trade with a lot smaller loss. So most trades, if we change direction, we'll be looking to get out around break even or just a few pips loss, and then what we will do, we'll add that onto the second trade. So if we, as for this morning, we took a 5 pip loss on our first trade. Obviously the second trade would have then been 25 pip target, and once that's hit, that would be us for the day. So that's how it's going to work. If we do manage to close the original trade with a couple of pips profit, which will happen sometimes, so if we manage to get out with 3 or 4 pips profit, again the second trade we can look then just to take maybe 17 pips. We're still just looking for a hard 20 pips a day, and I'm confident that we should be able to hit this 20 pips just about every day. I mean, today was very choppy and range bound, and we still managed to get out at break even. If we did stay in through the news that come out at 10, our target was hit, but we won't be looking to trade news items, especially not for scalping, because we've only want a 20 pip stop on our trades really. We only want to look to lose a maximum of 20 pips, so we won't be in the news anyway, so we wasn't gonna trade the news like that. But most mornings will be completely done within the first hour, and we'll be well away from the news anyway. So hopefully everyone will enjoy the service with the scalping method, and even people that's got work commitments will hopefully be getting the morning 20 just about every morning. From what I've back tested, it looks like we can do. So that's how it's going to run from now, and hopefully everyone knows now how to close one ticket and open the other.